Hey guys, iGoDigi here, and welcome to the Shadowlands SMP, an All the Mods 10 experience brought to you by the Shadow and Sparkle Kingdom. This is going to be a unique modded Let's Play adventure. We're going to be diving into a variety of mods and bringing exciting builds to life on our journey to crafting the elusive ATM star. With that said, let's dive in and see what we've been up to since the server started. Well, if the Diamond Sword and 63 levels didn't give it away, we have been playing a bit, but nothing too crazy. We've just been on the server, hanging out with our friends, doing some exploring, as well as clearing some dungeons where we've gotten quite a bit of loot. If we take a peek and see, we've gotten a bunch of stuff to go through. We also got some building blocks, as well as some resources, even some wooden products and plants, and some mob drops. So a few things, nothing too crazy. I've been kind of exploring the world, looking for somewhere to build, and I think this place is beautiful. I love these trees. I can't remember what they're called, but they're beautiful. And we've got this nice little bay here, and we're sitting up on a big hill. My idea to get started is we're going to build some farms and some starting floors to get some things set up in this area underground. That's kind of our plan today. And if we take a quick peek at the quest book, you can see there's all kinds of fun quest lines in here. If you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with one, either all the mods or the FTB quest book system. And man, this is one of the biggest ones I have ever seen. We've got a whole bunch of tech. We have magic. There's even some exploration. And of course, our end goal, which is the ATM star. And under this is where there is a mod called Immersive Engineering. This happens to be one of my favorite mods to get into early game, and that's what we're going to dive into today. I'm sad that it doesn't have its own chapter, but this also might make the series unique because most would probably start on something within the quest book. We're actually going to focus on Immersive Engineering and a smidge of Applied Energistics. Because even though we got the sophisticated storage chests, I kind of want to move past storage drawers and go straight into a small Applied Energistics storage system and start setting up some fun multi-block immersive engineering machines. And in order to do that, we need to go together a few more supplies and find us one of those sky stones so we can raid the middle. So let's go see what we can get up to. So I was able to find one of these sky stones, and something I didn't show you guys before is if we take a quick peek at our map, you can kind of see our world. We've got several friends on here playing with us. This is where we were kind of talking and going over things, and we did a little bit exploring. So we came up here and we got really lucky. We found a couple of villages, but we did find a sky stone right here. And we should be able to pop in here with our diamond pick. I've been kind of using this sparingly. Now the server does have Ultimine, but I don't know if I want to use it with our only fortune diamond pick. So we're just going to pop up in here. That is the mysterious cube. We click it? No, I think we break it. So they've updated this mod since the last time I've messed with it. Yeah, and then it gives us everything that we need to get started in Applied Energistics. So we have our inscribers and we have a guide. Ooh, that's new. That's fun. Well, let's take a moment to look over this. Make sure we know what we're doing because we need Silk Touch to grab these. So I need to go find some Silk Touch. And we also need to look at what we're going to do to get started into Immersive Engineering. So we'll be back in a moment. So our plans have changed a bit. And that's mostly because of these right here, these flawed budding surge cores. Well, a couple of them are not flawed. They're like chipped, and I think the very one on the end is like, damn, oh, that's I would scroll block. Oh, it's because it turned into a Surge Course blocks because it was damaged. So that's all it's going to do. And I hear friends. Let's take care of those guys real quick. You're not allowed here. Go away. Yeah, villager patrol. I don't really want to mess with those guys. I'm in the middle of recording. Go away. Anyways, we'll just ignore them. Maybe they'll leave. Because of the search quartz, if we take a quick peek at the guide, and I really hope one of these wasn't flawless, because it tells you do not break them, because with Silk Touch, it will degrade them to flawed. Now, flawed and lower, they're fine. And you can see there are different stages. They go from flawless to flawed, which is what 6 of ours are, to chipped, which is what 1 of ours was, and then we had 1 damaged. So a total of 8 of these. You can repair these, but growing these and doing these are kind of a pain in the butt. So what I am thinking is, on top of getting into Applied Energistics and getting into Immersive Engineering, why don't we start looking at getting into mystical agriculture? And I'll show you why. If we take a quick peek at Thirst Quartz, you can see that there is a mystical agriculture Thirst Quartz seed. And from that, we can get this Thirst Quartz essence. And if we right click on that, you can see we can use that stuff, craft Thirst Quartz crystals and dust. So we have no need for these. And that's kind of where the route I'm thinking about going. But that's going to require a tier 3 seed, which is going to require, well, a lot of essence that we just quite frankly don't have. And we also need one of these runic altars, and I'm not sure what those even cost. Oh, they're not bad. They're red wool and stone and gold ingots. I don't have any wool, but we can definitely track some sheep down. There might even be some nearby. There's not, but I could definitely find some sheep and some red dye. And our friends they don't want to leave. But we're gonna get into mystical agriculture a little bit. So apparently I'm a bit rusty with modded Minecraft. I've been playing too much vanilla, and I've made a very funny and kind of derpy mistake. You may have already caught it, but I placed these 1 block apart instead of 2, so the search quartz can't grow properly. That's kind of funny. With that said, these have already started turning into search quartz blocks. I'm gonna keep farming these and let them all turn into blocks. But they're kind of useless in their current form. I did get to talking with my buddy. There is a way to move the flawless ones, which stay flawless. And that is with a cardboard box. And we need a sawmill to make some sawdust for that cardboard box. But if we look at cardboard box, you can see that it just takes 4 sawdust. And I made the simplest sawmill that I have, which is sitting over here. We're gonna throw some wood in it. We're gonna let that chomp up. And we're going to eat on our infinity ham. We found this in our adventures, and I kind of forgot to talk about it, but essentially we eat it, it starts going away, and it will refurbish itself over time. It also gives us regen, which is pretty cool. So yeah, like infinite food, pretty freaking awesome. We're still going to get into mystical agriculture, and I do want to create a search quartz seed before this episode ends, but we are going to need so much search quartz just to make 1 seed. If we go back and look at that seed, you can see that it takes a block times 1, which is like a compressed block. So we actually need 9 of these 4 times in order to make 1 seed. That's pretty crazy. We're also going to need a ton of inferium essence, but we do have quite a bit, and I think it is going to be enough. I've started collecting blocks that we're going to need for our build in this chest. So we've already gotten an infusion crystal. This is where we put our inscribers. We've gotten some red wool ready to go, and we have gotten the blocks that we need to make a couple immersive engineering poke ovens. And where we're going to start setting all this stuff up is right over here. If we pop down here, you can see we've built a little platform. This is going to be our first little room here. Obviously, we'll make this look nicer later, but we're just kind of prepping an area in order to set some of this stuff up, and then we'll work on building around it. I did find 4 flawless budding search quartz. So I really only wanted 3, so we have 1 more spare. For now, we're going to continue gathering these manually. Eventually, we're going to probably automate these. Over here, you'll see we have our charger, and we needed this so we could get our meteorite compass. And just to show you guys those, in case you're curious, they're not hard at all to make. The charger is simply 5 iron and 2 copper. And then we threw it up against this heat generator that we had found. So I didn't actually craft that. So I'm not going to go over that, but it generated the power that I needed in order to craft this compass, which is just a regular vanilla compass. On the last stream, since we've been working on this, I also have done some building, which we're going to show you real quick. You can see we've cleared out this big area. This is going to kind of become our first floor of our build. And I've got some ideas, and I'm going to work on bringing this together. And we're going to be setting up a couple of modded things, and we'll see how far I actually get. And then we'll look at wrapping this episode up after that. And I'll be sure to step through everything that we're about to do. Essentially, we've got a chest down here with a whole bunch of stuff in it. I was able to find some immersive engineering tables and blocks, so that's pretty sweet. We are going to be working on a couple of things. First up, we're going to be getting into mystical agriculture. As we've already talked about, I need one of these infusion pedestals and 8 of these infusion altars. And if we just take a quick peek, you can see it uses some stone, gold, and red wool. And same here. And I have all that here ready to go. There's our red wool. There's our stone. And I don't have, was that iron? It was gold. I moved the gold, but we have gold. The other thing we're going to work on is going to be immersive engineering. So we're going to be building a couple of coke ovens, which are essentially, that is not the right one. We're going to be doing the immersive engineering coke oven, which is clay, bricks, and sandstone. And we'll need 27 of these, and I'll show you how to put all this together later. But I have everything in here that I need for that. I also want to build a blast furnace, but I don't know if I have the blocks that I need for that. So I may have to go gathering that. Oh yes, I need soul sand, nether bricks, and magma cream. So we may not be able to do that yet, but I have alternatives, because the last thing that I'm going to work on setting up is a whole bunch of these thermoelectric generators, so I can craft power. Well, not craft, but generate power. So we're going to need some constant plates, which are essentially, I think they're copper. Yeah, so we can make the dust from copper and nickel, which we do have. And we'll just combine those and run them through a smelter. And then we'll just need a hammer to turn them into plates. Then we need these copper coals, which are pretty straightforward to make. We just need a pair of engineer wire cutters, which we can make with 1 iron and a couple sticks. We'll be crafting the hammer in order to make some of those components as well, which is string, 2 iron, and a couple sticks. Like I said, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I'm going to go live here in a few minutes. We're going to work through a whole bunch of things. And then when I'm done with that stream, I'm hoping to get this episode out to you guys within a couple of days of that. Definitely before I go live again. I know this is going to be a bit awkward, but I don't know how else to balance this, and I don't want to give this project up. So we'll see you guys. Well, for you, it'll be in a few seconds. If you can't tell, we have been busy. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this block palette. We have got some really interesting blocks in here, and it isn't done. We're going to be tweaking and changing things as we go. I do like to build with the 3-block deep slate palette, so that is incorporated. We're also going to be using some smooth stone, as well as these diorite bricks from Chipped. But I also found these factory blocks, and I absolutely love these. There's a couple different variations, and it's given me so many great ideas. And as we talked about, I did end up setting up 3 coke ovens. And if we look at that recipe just one more time, you can see that it's simply some bricks, clay, and some type of sandstone. And we did craft 3, and you need 27 in a 3x3. And I just want to break this real quick and show you guys how you activate it. Once you have the 3x3 set up, you just shift right click it with an engineer's hammer and it activates it. I do have some piping running into these tanks, and that is where we're collecting the fluid. You just run coal through them and it turns it into coal coke, and it gives you that creosote oil. And the coal coke, the nice thing about that is it has double the burn time of regular coal, which you then can use in a crude blast furnace, and it's a 1-for-1 ratio. So 1 coal coke makes 1 piece of steel. And just so you guys know, when we were looking at this earlier, that was actually the blast furnace from Railcraft, which is a little bit more complicated. We actually wanted to craft the one from Immersive Engineering, which is a little easier. It's nether brick, regular brick, and some magma blocks. So a lot simpler of a recipe. We did end up crafting 2 of these and making a whole bunch of steel. I also want to point out the lighting. This is probably temporary. I want to experiment with some different lights. I am limited in my resources currently, and I did have a whole bunch of iron, and torches, of course, are easy to make. So this is what we're using currently. But that will probably change. And if you guys have any ideas, suggestions for this build, just let me know. And here is our big project that we completed on our previous stream that we talked about. We ended up crafting 25 of these thermoelectric generators. And if we look at that recipe one more time, you can see we had to craft 5 of these plates for each one of these, which is made from, we went the dust route. So if we look at this dust, you can see it uses 1 nickel and 1 copper, and we got that via the engineer's hammer. We went through like 5 of these hammers because that was a lot of plates. And then for this copper coil block, you needed the little engineer's wire cutter, and that's how we got this copper wire. We just cut plates, which are made from the hammer. And then we was able to put all this together with our steel and make 25 of these. Now, if you're not familiar with how these work, you need a hot and an opposing cold side, and it generates X amount of Fe per tick per hot and cold side. And with this configuration, you have 2 hot and cold sides per thermoelectric generator. And we went with a uranium block, which is what this is, and blue ice. That's one of the best combinations in the mod pack. There might be one better combination, but I don't have access to it at the moment. And this gives us 21 Fe per tick per each hot cold side, for a total output of 1,000 and 1,050 Fe a tick. And that is going into this basic capacitor bank from EnderIO. Oh, excuse me. I love the little whoopee cushion. That is so much fun. I'm trying to open this up. There we go. You can see we got 1.5 million power buffer, which is pretty freaking awesome. And we can start powering our machines that we're going to be setting up in the next episode. We're not going to be able to get into Applied Energistics this episode, but we're definitely going to attempt in the next episode. But I've already got a plan for the next episode. We're going to be expanding our mystical agriculture setup, which we have set up down below. We have a little elevator block, and that is down here. And I'm going to show this off in just a moment. But first, I want to craft a couple things and kind of show you what we're going to be working on our next stream, because it's going to be very repetitive. We're going to be crafting seeds, and then we're going to be putting them in these garden cloches from Immersive Engineering. And that's how we're going to be farming these, as well as other items in the game. There's 83 pages, and each page has 2 combinations. Oh, and there is this weird glitch in the game where certain GUIs go black, so you can't currently see this. That's unfortunate, but you can see, the seed plus the type of farmland gives you what you're looking for. So if we go over here to our crafting table, we want to craft one of these, and that's going to require a couple of things. It's going to require some treated wood. How do you get treated wood? Well, that's why we needed that creosote oil. So we're going to go over here, we're going to grab a bucket of it, and we're going to come back over here. We're going to set that inner crafting grid with some regular planks, and that's going to give us 8 treated wood planks. And then we need this iron mechanical component, which is 4 iron plates and a copper ingot. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to craft 4 of those, and then we should be able to craft that iron mechanical component. And then lastly, we need this incandescent light bulb, and that's made from the engineer's workbench with copper, glass, and paper. You also need this engineer's blueprint, which is made from copper, aluminum, iron, some blue dye, and paper. And I actually have one already set up. Look at there. And we've already crafted our engineer's blueprint. So we're going to throw that in there with the components needed in order to craft that. And I kind of already forgot what it was. It was paper. Oh, well, here, I think we can click on it. Oh, I thought it used to tell us. Oh, there we go. Paper, copper, and glass. Yeah, there we go. And now we need to pull that stuff out. It does stay in there. We should be able to craft a garden cloche. And I'm hoping that our GUI isn't messed up. We're going to just plop it right here. Oh, excuse me. We're going to right. Yeah, it's all messed up. This is annoying. I wish there was a way to reload this. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to log out and back in and see if that fixes it. Okay, so logging out and back in didn't fix it. And you guys may have been screaming at the screen. I did do a little Googling. It appears that when you hit F3 plus T, it reloads all the textures and that fixed it. So now you can see the GUI for the Garden Cloche. And as we saw when we go and look at it, essentially it takes water. You got water coming in the back, power at the top, and then the top of farmland, and then the seed. And then here's the output over here. So yeah, we'll be adding water to the back, power to the top, and then we'll export it from the front. And we're going to actually probably be using this room right here that's unfinished. That's kind of my plan and what we're going to be working on before the next episode. The other thing we're going to be doing is working on crafting some seeds and expanding our mystical agriculture. And what I want to do real quick, I've already showed you guys how to craft these, I believe. And we can just double check in case I didn't, because we did cut some stuff out because you know, I get to run in my mouth and the clips get a little long. But if we go over to mystical agriculture, you can see there's the altar and the infusion pedestal. The pedestal is simply stone, red wool, some gold, and the altar is stone, red wool, and more gold. And when you place the pedestal, remember to set a redstone signal or it won't work. And then it will show you where to set up all the pedestals. And once you get them all in place, you then can use it. And we're going to be crafting a dirt seed as a test because it's kind of a low effort. So we put the dirt in the middle. Oh, nope, that is not right. Dirt. We put dirt in 4 corners. We then put some Inferium Essence. Oh, that is not Inferium Essence. Get out of there. In the other 4 corners. We also need a seed, which I didn't craft. I'm missing one thing. So we're going to run over here. We're going to craft a prosperity seed base, which requires a seed. We do not have any seeds. Here we go. Here's some. And then we're going to throw that in the middle. And we get some nice particles and animations, and then it finishes up, and then you just right click it, and now we have a dirt seed. Do we need this dirt seed? No, we don't. No, that was only a demonstration. So we will be getting into some search quartz and other seeds, and I really am excited to continue this series, and I'm looking forward to jumping into the next episode. But I think for today, that is about going to wrap us up. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. This is Agro Ninja, and that is a wrap.